Hello, today I'm going to tell you about my Brooks B17 saddle. I think it's been my wisest upgrade. I've tried many saddles over the years ranging from sleek to apparently cushy. Even a well-padded saddle is uncomfortable after 50 miles if the shell doesn't fit the rider. Once I got my new Trek Madone, I was convinced I wasn't going to play around with saddle experimentation. So I decided to see what ultra-distance riders use, the riders who pull off double and triple centuries in a single ride. The Brooks B17 was easily the most recommended saddle out there. Some people don't like them because they're unpadded, expensive, heavy, and require significant care as well as about 1,000 miles to break in. And when I say they don't like them, I mean they've never tried one and don't like the concept behind owning one. To that I say, so what? If this saddle can keep me comfortable all day and will last a lifetime, then I don't think those are drawbacks at all. Despite the lack of padding, I think the saddle was comfortable right out of the box, and I found it to get a little better each time I ride. The saddle is intended to eventually form to the shape of the rider's sits bones. They say, make the saddle conform to the rider, not the other way around. That's what the Brooks saddle does. Even if the saddle doesn't get any better than it is today, I can confidently say the saddle is still a keeper. Here are a few clips of me tapping on the saddle with my fingernail. Day one was unsettling as it felt like I was tapping on hard plastic instead of leather. Listen closely and I think you'll hear the tapping in each clip go from tinny, or hard, to more thud-like as the leather softened. It's tough to see how the saddle flexes under just the weight of my hand, but imagine putting 100 pounds on there and I think you can imagine how it flexes. The result is the saddle provides a micro-suspension of sorts. I can feel textured roads in my hands and feet, but none of that vibration makes it through the saddle. I dare say the vertical compliance is better than any fancy seat post mast. The cost of the saddle isn't terrible when you consider two things. First, odds are you'll buy more than one conventional saddle just to try to find the right one anyway. I say, try the rest or buy the best. Second, a properly maintained Brooks saddle will last long enough to move to your next bike, so that's money saved. Check out this 40-year-old Brooks saddle I ran across. It looked terrible, but it felt great. The owner swears by Brooks and has one on each of his 8 bicycles. The B17 design has been on the market since 1898, so Brooks is either doing something right or they're selling only to really stubborn customers. The weight. Unless you're a pro and your bike is making you money, is another quarter pound really going to kill you? The B17 weighs no more than most gel saddles. Plus it's available in narrow and titanium models for some weight savings. If saving weight is more important than saving your rear end from a regular beating, then feel free to stick to the light stuff. Personally, I don't mind the extra weight. The break-in, care, and maintenance aren't bad. There are plenty of shortcuts on the web for speeding break-in and caring for the saddle. I don't advocate any of them. I want my saddle to last a lifetime, and I don't mind doing it right. Sure, Brooks Proof-Eyed conditioner is a bit expensive, but I only have to use it 2 or 3 times a year. So for $15, that little tin can of Proof-Eyed will last over a year. So is it really that bad? We spend more money for less of other stuff, if you know what I mean. The break-in is variable. I suspect a heavier rider will break in a Brooks saddle faster than a lighter rider. It's all about stressing the leather to fit your body. Like I said, I found the saddle comfortable right out of the box. Getting the saddle alignment right was a little bit tricky, the nose up and down adjustment. After that, all I had to do was ride. The saddle was still comfortable after my most recent century, and I find myself looking to try some brevets and double centuries. We'll see how that goes. I recently met a lady who mounted a new Brooks saddle, then rode her bike from Yorktown, Virginia to San Francisco. I'm sure her saddle's broken in by now. The biggest inconvenience of owning a leather saddle is protecting it from the rain. Prolonged wetness will ruin it. So I carry an Aardvark waterproof saddle cover and a shopping bag in my camelback in case I get stuck in the rain. The Aardvark protects the top while the shopping bag protects the underside from wheel spray. The combination worked really well in a recent century ride in the rain. And carrying the extra pieces is not that inconvenient. I think that's about all I have to say here. I'll add that I've noticed there are 2 camps with regards to Brooks saddles. Those who love them, and those who won't even bother to try one due to the perceived drawbacks. I've only met one person who said he didn't like his Brooks saddle, and odds are fair that he didn't ride it long enough to fully break it in. Depending on how much you ride, a full break-in could take a long time. Regardless, I think everybody should ride what they want, but I hope I've removed some of the mystery surrounding the Brooks saddle. Try one out for yourself and see what you think. Thanks for watching.